Self-development with tactics.
So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development Tactics podcast. And today we're once again going to go ahead with A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. It's pretty late that I'm recording. Today has also not been the best day, kind of. I've always had something to do, but I never felt too good. Even though I should, yesterday I had to work, today no. Was basically able to do whatever, but I still wasn't able to manage to, just create a day or have a day that I enjoyed quite. I don't know, it really is strange to some degree, but as I'm just thinking about it, it makes sense to figure out what I did today and what I didn't do today. And something that I've clearly seen is that I didn't text that much today, as I'm just doing normally. Maybe it is due to that. I actually really don't know. Anyway, we are going ahead with challenging modern day social norms, which is indeed something that I also think about quite often and quite a lot. Because so many things just do not make any sense at all. They're just there, that things are there. Let me just close Photoshop and, all the other bullshit that I'm having open here. That's pretty unnecessary. So that everything is a bit smoother and that I'm not just burning through electricity like shit. Anyway. Many people who are going through the early stages of the awakening process are no longer certain what their outer purpose is. What drives the world no longer drives them. Seeing the madnesses of our civilization so clearly, they may feel somewhat alienated from the culture around them. Some feel that they inhabit a no man's land between two worlds. They are no longer run by the ego, yet the arising awareness has not yet become fully integrated into their life's inner and outer purpose have not merged. What the world doesn't tell you, because it doesn't know, is that you cannot become successful. You can only be successful. Don't let a mad world tell you that success is anything other than a successful present moment. And what is that? There is a sense of quality in what you do. Even the most simple action. Quality implies care, attention, which comes with awareness. Quality requires your presence. What I would say is as well, when I'm working on something or when I'm doing something and I am not fully present, I'm not fully in the moment, I do not care that much about what I'm doing at the time, then the end product, the result is not going to be that good. But naturally, when I'm doing certain things, I really get focused and present. And I only think about the thing that I'm doing at that time, which is the thing that I'm working on, which is amazing if you think about it, and this is, I would say, this flow state that, books are about, people I've been talking about, yada, yada, yada. Many examples. Let's say that you're a business person and after 2 years of intense stress and strain, you finally manage to come out with a product or service that sells well and makes money. Success? In conventional terms, yes. In reality, you spent 2 years polluting your body as well as the earth with negative energy, made yourself, this is an assumption by the way, made yourself and those around you miserable and affected many others you never even met. The unconscious assumption behind all such action is that success is a future event and that the event justifies the means, but the end and the means are one. And if the means did not contribute to human happiness, neither will the end. The outcome, which is inseparable from the actions that led to it, is already contaminated by those actions and so will create further unhappiness. This is karmic action, which is the unconscious perpetuation of happiness or unhappiness. Well, I gotta have to say, this may or may not be true. It really depends on what you're working on. It really depends on why you're working on it. Um, I mean, if you're on it solely for the purpose that you are gonna make a ton of money, um, in the future or in the end, and you give a shit about anything else in the process, then yeah, this is totally applicable. But um, you know, lots and lots and lots of people are working on something because it is their passion and because they made it their purpose, and so it is something completely different. And then we're also talking about something completely different, something that makes sense, something that is worthwhile doing and worthwhile pursuing. But when it is really like you are miserable, you hate your life, you are just making yourself feel bad, then you need to change something. It is fine to work hard and it is fine to do a lot of things, but life should be enjoyed. You only have one, and in the end, the fact is that you yourself create happiness. So do you really need that much to be happy? And certainly a ton of people have shown that even if you have quite everything that you think you need, you can still be miserable and unhappy, even though you have that nice car and that nice boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, house, yacht, this rich life. Just imagining this typical rich life. This is what I'm thinking about. Are you going to be happy when you have this? Well, I think for some people they are going to be happier. Maybe. But most often I would say those people that are happy with their life that they were able to create on themselves, they have already been happy before. They have always been happy, also in the process of getting there. And then this is a completely different conversation, I'd say. Well, anyway, I do really dislike this paragraph because it is so vaguely and, well, maybe not vaguely, but it is just assuming a ton of things, which is something that I do not like. And if you are assuming, then I would say that you should also present the other side and talk about the other side so that it is clear that this does not have to be the case. Because it doesn't. There are so many options. Life is not either this or that. There are so many shades of gray or color or whatever. Most people's lives are cluttered up with things, material things, things to do, things to think about. Their lives are like the history of humanity, which Winston Churchill defines as one damn thing after another. Their minds are filled up with the clutter of thoughts, one thought after another. This is a dimension of other consciousness that is many people's predominant reality, and that is why their lives are so out of balance. Object consciousness needs to be balanced by space consciousness for sanity to return our planet and for humanity to fulfill its destiny. The arising of space consciousness is the next stage in the evolution of humanity. Space consciousness means that in addition to being conscious of things, which always comes down to sense perceptions, thoughts and emotions, there is an undercurrent of awareness. Awareness implies that you are not only conscious of things, which are objects, but are also conscious of being conscious. If you can sense an alert inner stillness in the background while things happen in the foreground, that is it. We need to honor, well, I do think that meditation can really help there. I am pretty happy that I'm taking meditation a bit more serious at a time, and I'm also able to do so energy-wise and whatnot, but I think this practice of meditation and basically analyzing yourself, this full body meditation type thing, this is something that I really enjoy and still enjoy, but also just keeping attention to your breathing. It can really be beneficial at my point of view, because you notice yourself and you are getting way more aware than you've been before And when you are more aware than before, then you can notice new things and different things. So maybe you're gonna notice that, I don't fucking know, like that you might be getting mad out of nowhere, but you're noticing it, you're seeing it while you're living and while you're also present, you know. Anyway, we need to honor the world of things, not despise it. Each thing has beingness, is a temporary form that has its origin within the formless one life. The source of all things, all bodies, all forms. In most Asian cultures, people believe that everything, even so-called inanimate objects, had an indwelling spirit, and in this respect they were closer to the truth than we are today. There is in our civilization a great deal of ignorance about the human condition, and the more spiritually ignorant you are, the more you suffer. Why is old considered useless? Because in old age, the emphasis shifts from doing to being, and our civilization, which is lost in doing, knows nothing of being. It asks, being, what do you do with it? When you have had a direct experience of the unstable nature of all forms, you will likely never overvalue form again, and thus love yourself by blindly pursuing it or attaching yourself to it. One can go far as to say that on this planet, quote-unquote, normal equals insane. What is it that lies at the root of this insanity? Complete identification with thought and emotion, that is to say, ego. If you are content with being nobody in particular, content not to stand out, you align yourself with the power of the universe. What looks like weakness to the ego is in fact the only strength, well, true strength. This spiritual truth is diametrically opposed to the values of our contemporary culture and the way it conditions people to behave. Well, I do, by the way, and I think that I have always forgotten to mention that, I think that those rather old books like the Bible and other religious writings, that they are incredibly interesting to read, and I should do that once again, in terms of interpreting and analyzing what it is all about and what they're trying to say, because what they are writing about or what is written in them is not necessarily the whole meaning. There is way more to it. As also this book summary pointed out quite frequently, that certain people from certain books said this and that and these and those, and what it really means, and what is meant by saying that. And I think it is just amazing. It really is. I am really not good at interpreting things. I've always really been bad at it. I don't know why. Might be, due to intellect. I don't fucking know what it is due to. But, there's sources on the internet and you can read it and maybe you can talk to people, write some emails. But I think that we can learn something from them by not necessarily looking at them in a religious way. But as I said, just trying to analyze the texts and trying to understand them and trying to dissect the hidden meaning that they, I guess, all have. And, it, to some degree as well, is just also a documentation of past times, which, I personally find pretty interesting and cool just to see, like, how did they live back in the days, what was it like? Also one of the reasons why I think there is something about old photography, that shows just old places, how it looked like, even though it is pretty basic and I don't know if it involves such a huge artistic knowledge and skill to just shoot a photo, and then after 50 years, it is incredible just because it shows past times. I mean, it is interesting in terms of documentation. If it is art, this is a different question, and hard to answer. It also depends on the picture, like yada yada yada. I just think about an old picture that I've seen in, might have been an exhibition, might have also been a museum, I don't know. In terms of documentation, I think it is cool. Anything else, depends. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna end the episode there. I really wasn't able to get quite far today, but I'm just not willing to force myself. Fuck. It's the last one. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. See you soon. Bye-bye.